of India, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Baichung Bhutia, one of the most well-known faces and personalities of this subcontinent, the awardees, Captain Tipnis and Mrs. Tipnis, and of course, our great Sunil Dev Varma, the founder and inspiration to my home India. I am a witness, मैं साक्षी हूँ that how much Sunil ji has worked in Tripura with his volunteers. मैं इस बात को साक्षी हूँ that how much he made me work. तो दोनों बात का मैं साक्षी हूँ इधर. And देखिए निर्वाचन आता है जाता है. त्रिपुरा में 2018 में निर्वाचन आई है. The elections which are won, which are lost, elections are fought in democracy. But the election in Tripura was different for us, the indigenous people of that state. It was completely different for us. It was an election in which we proved and in which Sunil ji made us prove that we honored our history, our culture. Because during the previous regime, things were just topsy-turvy. जनजातियों के अपने कल्चर, अपने इतिहास पर सम्मान नहीं थे. सुनील जी आए और बोले हमारे यूथ को, हमारे इंडिजिनस यूथ को बोले, You must honor your culture, अपने इतिहास, अपने धर्म, अपने संस्कृति को आपको सम्मान देना चाहिए. And that caught on as wildfire. Because earlier, the history of Tripura was looked down upon. It was laughed at, it was scorned at. People were busy talking of China and USSR and Cuba. He changed the whole narrative. He changed the whole narrative among the indigenous people of Tripura, and for that he will be remembered in the history of Tripura. Speaking of the Northeast, Northeast is one of the most, not one of the most diverse regions of India. Every few kilometers you go, you will find a new dance form, a new dialect. It is that saying in Rig Veda, it proves that saying in Rig Veda, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahura Badanti. The truth is one, though there may be many interpretations. The truth is one, that we are all Indians. Though maybe there may be so many cultures, so many art forms, so many dialogues. Everything adds up to the glory of India and the glory of Bharat. That is what we say is our composite culture. And that is what is defined in the fundamental duties. We are very fond of talking of fundamental rights all the time, but think very little of the fundamental duties because they can't be taken to court, but they are fundamental. The word fundamental is there even in your fundamental duties. So my home India, to me, is the organization that believes that every Indian citizen, especially the youth of the Northeast, must learn their fundamental duties. Because that makes the region great. You know, I had gone to a seminar in Shillong. It was a Green Summit. It was a very, very interesting seminar. And I was one of the keynote speakers. And there I had said, and I have repeated here, that Atithi Deva Bhava is legendary in Northeast. We look after our guests so well. Everyone who comes from Northeast feels at home. But in Northeast, we also worship nature. We have the most fragile ecosystems there. Such beautiful biospheres. So for us, Aditi Deva Bhava, and also Prakriti Deva Bhava for us there. We are people who worship nature. We have lived in harmony with nature. And that is our strength in the Northeast. The Northeast is a land of potentials, of possibilities. And the youth from there have to make it possible. I tell my people, the indigenous people of Tripura, the other day I was addressing them at their autonomous district court headquarters. I said, you are always shouting slogans, we want development, we want development. Why don't you change your slogan to we will do development? You know, once I had gone to a meeting in Guwahati. I am one of the old-time BJP fellows. And our former Prime Minister, Hon'ble late Atal Bihari Vajpayee, was addressing that meeting. And that time I was young too. My hair was dark, don't worry. And Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, I remember it today when I see youngsters, I keep saying it. It's my favorite quote. It's my favorite quote. And he said to the youngsters, he told us then that some correspondents had come to see him in his office. And they asked him, sir, what is the future of India since you are the Prime Minister of India? And he answered, so why have you come here to see the future of India? The future of India is neither in the Prime Minister's office nor on these files. If one must see the future of India, one must look deep into the eyes of the youth. The longings that are reflected there, the hopes, aspirations, fears, longings, failures, successes, dreams, that will make up future of India. That constitutes the future of India. And that is true for the Northeast. Today when I see Captain Tipnis and Mrs. Tipnis, it reminds me that our real heroes, our real life heroes are often forgotten in this country, especially the ones who are working in Northeast, in an atmosphere that is very challenging. And I was hearing about his work from some office bearers of my home India. And it's one of the most important works to instill awareness in the indigenous society. There's so much, especially after our NDA government has come under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. There's so much going on. There's so much going on, but the Northeast youth are not aware of it. And to build a strong nation, one must build aware citizens. Without aware citizens, you can't have a strong nation or a strong society. And we must learn to live in harmony. And that word tolerance, religious tolerance, regional tolerance, the word tolerance is not a nice word. The tolerance word is just putting up with. If someone had to tolerate his wife, and his wife had to tolerate her husband, and the child had to tolerate the father, I don't think the family will last. That family cannot last. Everything to sustain itself has to be based on mutual understanding, mutual respect. The word tolerance has become very fashionable these days. But I don't think that's the correct word. Here is a couple still working hard for our people to build a strong India, to build a strong Northeast. I am grateful to them, and I am really grateful to my home India for doing such beautiful work for the Northeast people, and especially for the Northeast. I thank him for inviting me. Thank God we met yesterday, otherwise I would have been invited. I would have missed this lovely occasion to meet such lovely people. Thank you so much.